Hi guys, I am Sandip sir. I am a mechanical engineer and today we are going to study the concept of projectile motion. Okay, before seeing this topic, first we'll see the meaning of motion. Motion means a change in position of object from one place to other place with respect to its surrounding or with respect to time. Now we'll see the meaning of projectile. Projectile is the object which is thrown in space. And the projectile motion means the object is thrown in space other than vertical and horizontal, or we can say the path or motion of object in a parabolic path is the projectile motion. Okay, now in this diagram, a point A is a point of projection from where object is thrown in space. So जो पॉइंट से आप ऑब्जेक्ट को थ्रो करोगे वो पॉइंट को हम कहेंगे पॉइंट ऑफ प्रोजेक्शन. आफ्टर सम टाइम दिस प्रोजेक्टाइल और ऑब्जेक्ट विल लैंड एट पॉइंट बी. सो दिस पॉइंट विल कंसीडर पॉइंट ऑफ टर्मिनेशन. ठीक है. सो फ्रॉम हियर जहां से आप ऑब्जेक्ट को थ्रो करोगे उसको हम कहेंगे पॉइंट ऑफ प्रोजेक्शन. जहां पे ऑब्जेक्ट स्ट्राइक करेगा ग्राउंड पे उसको हम कहेंगे पॉइंट ऑफ टर्मिनेशन. And during this process, the path followed by this projectile is called a trajectory. So trajectory is path followed by this projectile. Further, from point A, this projectile is projected in space up to point B, that is point of termination. The horizontal distance between point of projection and point of termination is range. So range is horizontal distance between point A and point B over here. Okay. Further, since this object is thrown in space, that means it has some velocity. Okay. So यहाँ पे जो u है, u is what velocity of projection. जो velocity से आपने object को throw किया है, वो velocity को हम कहेंगे velocity of projection. And since this projectile is thrown other than vertical and horizontal, that means it has some angle. So this angle is theta here. We consider angle of projection. So theta is angle of projection. So till here we have to know the point of projection, point of termination, trajectory, velocity of projection and angle of projection. Now this projectile is thrown in space, so it attains some height. So here this h max is called maximum height attained by the particle. Later on we will see how much is the height attained by the particle depending on the angle theta. Okay. Further, since this velocity is inclined at an angle of theta with respect to horizontal, here we consider ux. Ux is horizontal component, that is u cos theta, or we can say x component of velocity. Similarly, uy is vertical component of velocity or u sin theta, that is y component of velocity. Okay. Now for the analysis of this projectile motion, here we will see this diagram. So यहाँ पे मैंने वापस x component, y component show किया. Now x component of velocity, that is u cos theta here, u cos theta here, u cos theta here. यहाँ पे सब जगह पे along x direction velocity is constant if we neglect the air resistance. If we consider air resistance, definitely there is change in horizontal component also. So as per the assumption in projectile motion, we are neglecting what air resistance. So x component of velocity will remain same. Now for y component of velocity, that is u sin theta. Here y component is u sin theta at the point of projection. Similarly at point B, that is point of termination, पे भी आपको component मिलेगा u sin theta. But in between u sin theta will change. So magnitude of vertical component of velocity will change point to point along the trajectory of projectile. Due to this change happens due to what? Acceleration due to gravity. See, यहाँ पे क्या करेगा? Earth ये object को खींचेगा. That means object is trying to moving upward and acceleration due to gravity is downward. So that's why vertical component of velocity keeps on changing. At topmost point, here I consider this point is C. At this point, it attains a maximum height. So at this point vertical component of velocity becomes 0. So simple logic है, जहाँ पे maximum height होगा वहाँ पे vertical component of velocity 0. ठीक है? Further here, now our target is we have to show the path followed by this projectile is parabolic in nature. Before that, we can divide this projectile motion into two direction motion. Since projectile motion is a 2D motion. Two direction motion means if we see here, this ball is moving upward at the same time it is moving forward. If you consider this point, it is moving upward at the same time it is moving forward. That means it has two direction of motion, horizontal motion and vertical motion. But for horizontal motion, as we see over here, x component of velocity is what? Constant. So we can say horizontal motion with uniform velocity. Since velocity is uniform, along x direction acceleration becomes 0, and along y direction this motion will be what? Vertical motion under gravity. Because due to gravitational force, velocity keeps on decreasing when object is moving upward. Velocity keeps on increasing when object is moving downward. Further, here we consider the motion of this projectile from point A to P. अब यहाँ पे जो point P है वो arbitrary point है. यहाँ पे आप किधर भी point P consider कर सकते हो, having coordinates x, y. So x means the horizontal distance covered by this projectile from point of projection. Y is vertical distance covered by this projectile from point of projection. Okay. So now we'll apply equations of motions for this. So why we are applying equations of motion for projectile motion? Because हमने projectile motion को दो part में separately divide किया है. One is vertical motion, second is horizontal motion. So we can easily apply equations of motion. So here I use equation S is equals to ut plus half at square for horizontal motion. And as we know, for horizontal motion, velocity is uniform, so acceleration is 0. So here S is equals to ut plus half at square, meaning जो acceleration होगा वो 0 होगा. Whereas S is a displacement along horizontal direction. So point being a horizontal direction में displacement कितना हुआ है? x. So यहाँ पे S को मैंने x से substitute किया. Along x direction, the velocity becomes u cos theta. यहाँ पे x direction में velocity क्या होगा? u cos theta. So u becomes u cos theta. T is the time taken by this projectile from point A to P. So here T as it is plus half into this acceleration is 0, T square as it is. So this term becomes 0. So you will get x is equals to u cos theta into T. So further you will get T is equals to x divided by u cos theta. So this is our first equation, from where we will get what? Time T is equals to x upon u cos theta. Similarly, we'll use same equation for vertical motion. पहले हमने equation use किया था horizontal motion के लिए, उसमें acceleration 0 था. अब हम use करेंगे same equation but for vertical motion. And as we know, for vertical motion, acceleration is what? Acceleration due to gravity g. So again, S is equals to ut plus half at square for vertical motion. Displacement, here S means displacement along y direction. So point P moves upward in what we can say y direction from point of projection. So this displacement is y. So S की जगह में यहाँ पे y substitute किया. Velocity along y direction will be vertical component. Vertical component of this initial velocity becomes u sin theta. So यहाँ पे u will be what? U sin theta into t. T is what? From equation 1, x upon u cos theta. So x upon u cos theta plus half as it is. Acceleration a will be what? Minus g. That is a is equals to what? Acceleration due to gravity is g minus sign, because object is moving upward and acceleration due to gravity is what? Downward. So that's why here g is what? Negative. into what? T square, and the t is what? X upon u cos theta. So here x upon u cos theta whole square. Further you will get y as it is. Here you will get cancel. Sin upon cos is tan, x as it is. So x tan theta minus g by 2, and x upon u cos theta whole square will be x square upon u square cos square theta. So y is equals to x tan theta minus gx square upon 2u square cos square theta. This equation is called equation of path. This equation is what? Equation of path. Further, as we have to derive the path followed by projectile is parabolic in nature, we can rearrange this equation as y is equals to ax, x is a variable, tan theta we can say a constant, minus x square as it is, that is bx square, where b is g upon 2u square cos square theta. So यहाँ पे where a is tan theta, b is g upon 2u square cos square theta. So from this equation, that is y is equals to ax minus bx square, we can say the path followed by projectile is what? Parabolic in nature, because this equation is of parabolic. So path followed by projectile is what? Parabolic in nature. Okay. If they ask derive the equation of path, same derivation you have to write. If they ask derive the path followed by projectile is parabolic in nature, again same derivation you have to write. That is equation of path itself gives us the path followed by projectile is parabolic in nature. ठीक है? So this is the complete projectile motion concept for equation of path. I hope आपको ये वीडियो या फिर कॉन्सेप्ट ऑफ प्रोजेक्टाइल समझ में आया हो. थैंक यू.